If 3 out of 10 meetings or more that you're booking or not showing up, you probably have a no-show problem. The industry benchmark for Outbound is that 70 to 80% of meetings that have been booked should be happening. Now, you and me both know the truth, which is it's not the case, right? I'm going to use a specific example from a firm I work with that is targeting lawyers. And what we've been doing excellent, generating clients and breaking records in terms of the time it took to close them. The problems is a lot of prospects are not showing up to the meetings we set. It's not unsustainable for a client because he's making more money than he's spending. But the way we're looking at it is that he could be making a lot more money if we just solve that bottleneck, because this is the one thing in the entire process that is standing between him and making a lot of money. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we doubled the show up rate for this client and how the best practices I'm going to share with you can apply to you and help you reduce that problem. This is not just theories. I'm a practitioner. I run Profitable, which is an SDR agency. And we're facing this issue every single day. So we've developed specific techniques that you can steal from us by just watching this video that will increase your show up rate. So now let me get to what you can control and what you should 100% be implementing. So the first thing that doesn't cost you much, but changes everything is first you can implement automated reminders, right? So you can go into your account executive calendars, whether it's a HubSpot link, Calendly link, or any other tool that you use to book them. You can schedule that they have automated reminders going out from your email. I would go as far as recommending that you do a dedicated link and you put in the reminder useful information, useful assets that are on your website. So you expose the prospect to more information about your company. The second strategy that you should put in place on top of this automated reminder is a call. You should simply have your SDR call the day before or the morning of to confirm that the prospect is still intending to show up to the meeting. I would especially use this tactic if a person hasn't accepted the invitation, but they should absolutely call the day before or the day of to make sure that the person shows up. If a person doesn't pick up the phone, which happens, I would recommend that they send a simple email, a 2-liner saying, hey, we're very much looking forward to the meeting. We saw you haven't accepted the invitation. Are we still on for 2 p.m. today to have this introduction call about problem 1, 2, 3? The third tip that I want to share with you that will dramatically increase your show up rate is so simple, it's almost ridiculous. It's simply having a clear meeting plan. You would be surprised how many C-levels are being invited to meetings and they have absolutely no idea what you're going to discuss. They show up to the meeting and they're like, what do you guys do again? Remind me, what do you guys do? You should be having at least a boilerplate standard agenda that's being sent in the invitation, where they know exactly what you're going to cover, how long the meeting is going to last. It's going to be 30 minutes. We're going to do 5 minutes introductions. Then we're going to do a question and answer about your company for the next 20. And then I'm going to see if it's the right fit in the next 5. I'm going to present to you what we could do around the problems you talked about. And then we're going to book the next steps, whether we stop there or we book a demo with some of your team or whatever the next steps are, right? And I would also put a line saying, if there's something you really want to get out of this meeting, please feel free to let us know in advance so we can adjust the agenda accordingly. It shows that you're prepared, shows that you're structured, you have a plan to the meeting, but you're also leaving room for them to co-write the agenda and make sure that it's worth the time. Tip number 4, we had the account executive simply shoot a video, a personalized video, and send it to the prospect saying, hey, I'm on your website, I'm just getting familiar with your company. It looks like you do a lot of work that's similar to client 1, 2, 3. I'm very much looking forward to meet you later today. Looking forward to a call. And he would send that video to the prospect. Tip number 5, I always insist that SDRs attend the meeting and that they spend at least the first 5 to 10 minutes on the meeting. Then they can just jump off after they hand it over. But it's a good practice for me that they would show up to the meeting. And if a person hasn't shown up in the first 5 minutes, that we would place 2 calls to remind the person, because a lot of people are just busy, they're just distracted, they're just in their emails, they're finishing another meeting, they forgot that they have a meeting, but they still very much want to attend the meeting. So I would do 2 calls, then I would send an email asking if they have difficulties logging in using Teams or Zoom or whatever you're using. And then I would wait a maximum of 15 minutes. If after 15 minutes the person hasn't shown up, then I would log off. Tip number 6. When a meeting is being booked, you have to know that a lot of prospects are not receiving the invitation in their main inbox. So what we've seen happen is that they accept to have a meeting, they want to book the meeting, and then the SDR might book into the calendar of the salesperson, but then that invitation ends up in the spam or the junk folder of the prospect, and the prospect just doesn't know they have a meeting at all. Tip number 7, you want to make sure that people accept the invitation while they're still on the call with you. SDR should stay on the phone until the person has accepted the invitation. And once the invitation is accepted, they should stay on the call and confirm that the person has it, but it's not in the spam, and that they have clicked to accept it, so it shows in the calendar. Tip number 9, and definitely the most important tip, and you need to remember this one if anything else. A prospect that doesn't have an identified problems and the willingness to solve it is probably not going to show up. When we had this very high rate of no-shows from our law firms, what I did is that I took all the prospects that no-showed. I took all the prospects that not only showed up, but ended up purchasing the software. And then I took both and I ran the transcripts through AI and I asked AI. And what I found is very simple. In the case of people showing up and then ended up purchasing, people were sharing their problems. They were basically proving that they have a problem that is linked to the solution we offer that solves it. And while these were 1 to 5% of the market, they were the ones that ended up buying. And so if I were to advise something is to not pitch about solution, not pitch about products and features, but to make sure that you talk about problems, that you qualify and validate that they have a problem and that the problem is big enough for them to have a willingness to solve it. So if I can recap, most important thing when an SDR is calling, he or she should be calling about problems. If you want more information, watch my dedicated video to this topic. Once they validate that the person has a problem, they offer to have a meeting, they should book it into the calendar link of the account executive. They should then confirm on the phone that the person has received the link, and they might even go as far as asking, and they should make sure that the person approves the meeting and they have accepted it and it's not in the junk folder. Once this is done, they should set a reminder for themselves to call 24 hours before the meeting or a business day before the meeting. If the meeting is happening on a Monday, they can call on a Friday afternoon to confirm that Monday is still on. If they can't reach the person, we can call back again on Monday morning if the meeting is in Monday afternoon to make sure that the meeting is still on. If a person still hasn't answered, we can send a very short email just to confirm that the person is going to show up. In a lot of cases, people won't answer, but they would still show up to the meeting, and that's okay. We've done everything we can to try to confirm that meeting. And the account executive can go as far as sending a personalized video to the person. All of these touch points, it's important to note that the more relevant you can be and the more information and value you can provide the prospect, the better it is. And by value, I don't mean a super great flyer about how super duper your solution is. I'm talking about case studies, I'm talking about things related to the problems that can be of interest so they can get up to speed before they meet you. Then I would highly recommend that the SDR shows up to the meeting and that he or she calls the prospect twice if the person hasn't shown up in the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then sends an email asking if they have troubles logging. And then if a person really doesn't show up, then I would send a second email asking if they want to reschedule. But we found that there are some prospects that just never show up to a meeting. They're the kind of people who don't respect their own word, they just say yes to say yes. You never know what's going on the other side, but if you find yourself rescheduling with a prospect like more than 3 times, I'd highly recommend that you let that prospect go, because you're just wasting everybody's time at this stage. So I would actually call it out on a call. I would be like, hey, we've booked 2 meetings already. You haven't showed up. It seems like there's always something that gets in the way. What about we park this conversation for now because it seems like it's not a priority for you? Just give them a way out, and if they take it, great. If they don't take it and say, no, I really want to have this meeting, I would give them a third chance. Beyond that, I think you're just wasting money and time to chase them, and I would just disqualify them. Feel free to comment below the video. I read all the comments. I reply to all the comments. And I'd love to hear about some of the tips you found that have proven useful. If you like this video, you will probably like the video where I talk about how to prospect in a way that will get people to show up to your meeting, but also won't burn your market because you're talking to the wrong people with the wrong messaging. I think this is the most important concept to understand about prospecting. And if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it. It's gonna show up on your screen somewhere and you can click next. Last but not least, if it was useful and you want more content like this, please leave a like to encourage us to make more videos like this one, as well as subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next video about the next tip for software companies looking to expand. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.